Okay, good evening everyone, this is Scott. If you were following along with yesterday's video that I did, you know we are working on the Ford Mustang FR500S, painting it with the Velocity colors that I've done with several of the other cars in my collection. Last night when we left, I was going through there and eliminating all the green that was ghosting from the dark gray that you see on the car right now. What we're going to do today then is everything is done. It's all smoothed out. You can even see it up here on where the back end of the car is, and how the lines are much more smoother than they were before with the jagged edges. See how much more smoother they are through there. That means we are now on our way to putting on the carbon fiber layer that has become my specialty. All right, now what I do is I use this carbon fiber right here. Now, if you know what to look for from a paint program, you need to find out how big your paint template is. In this case, the ones that iRacing gives us are 2048 by 2048. It's perfect square. What I do is I go a little bit bigger. If you look at the carbon fiber, the information on this one, it's 2500 pixels for each side. So it's 2500 by 2500. I like going bigger on this one. Then you don't have the overlap that you would normally do because you want something seamless. If you got something that's going to fluctuate with the way the pattern is set up on this, it's going to look awkward. Now, it's not going to matter so much with this paint layer here because it's going to be underneath the regular paint layer. So what I'm going to do is I need to copy this and paste it as a layer in the template. So I'll go to Edit, Copy, go over here to the Mustang, and you can see over here on the template area that the car is selected over here. So what I need to do is go back up to Edit, paste as a new layer. You want that underneath, so we'll put that there. Now, when it pastes above your current template. You notice how the carbon fiber went over the top of it. So what you want to do is left click and drag it down below your current layer. It still hasn't shown up here yet, so what you do is you right click on your template layer, go to Properties, and I do 75. You can adjust this to wherever you want, but I find that the 75, if you look here, it retains the same basic color and still puts the carbon fiber layer in there. So we'll put that in there. Now the car has its carbon fiber layer. Notice it darkened up just a hair. What I do at this point is I go ahead and save the car. And in this case, it's going to be Velocity Mustang FR500S. Now, you want to save it as a PSP image and as a TGA image as well. The TGA is what you import into Trading Paints. That's what iRacing takes. So I'll save that right there. It takes a little bit. If you see the green line here on the bottom of the screen, that's our save. Once it's done saving, I can go back up here to Save As, because we don't want to hit save again, otherwise it'll save it just as a PSP. So hit Save As, go over here, and all mine are, you can look at mine over here, PSP, TGA, PNG, PSD, JPEG, and the TIFF file. The TIFF file generally I don't need, but the other ones I do use a lot. So I'll save this one as a TGA. You notice how I got all the other ones over here on the list. Hit that as a save, and it'll ask me, you want to say yes, because it's basically merging the layers at that point. Now, we're not done yet. What we have to do next is the pitbox colors. And any of the other ones, if you want to do a color change on the logos and stuff like that. Pitbox colors. You go over here and select it. And I go to the arrow. This will show me the little box down here that you see. Oh, it's saving again. Excuse me. All right, now go over here to where the box is. You can see where it is that you can take and do rotations and stuff on it as well. Now the NASCARs actually have two of them that you can use. You want these as dark as you possibly can, because I'm not sure which one's the pit box, but I think this one here is your war wagon. So I'm going to go ahead and make this one red. Go and select your paint can and hover over this. Make sure you're on it though too. It's got to be on the particular layer that you're trying to do. So we're going to make that red. Now I'll zoom out a little bit. And we'll go back up here. And we don't have anything else like roll bar colors or anything else. It's just strictly the pit box. This one doesn't have the window banner. So what we need to do is we need to go to sponsor locations. What you do is once you put these on here, this will show you the placement, but it doesn't show you where it would end up being located, whether it's upside down or not, and that's something we'll discover later on. Now, if you've done other cars, you can take a look at them like I do here with the Ghostbusters car. We'll go ahead and select that, and I'll show you what that looks like. It's these two right here that I'm going to be primarily concerned with. The other ones, it goes by basically by the way the car is facing. This one over here, part of the wing, is going to be the same. Now, if you look at where they are, for the Ghostbusters one, I didn't use anything there. The Sony logo faces to the right. Now, in this case here, we need to look on this front panel. Right there, notice how the prop ones are like this. The Bob's Prop Shop are the ones that we're interested in. You got one facing one way and the other one facing the other. These are part of the wing stanchions for this particular car. So when we do that one, we got to make sure you got one that's facing the other way and one way, and then one's facing the other. All right, we can get rid of that and go back to our Velocity Mustang. Now, generally with this one here, I use certain logos with this particular one. Oh, up here, you'll notice we don't have anything on the back end. You can't always do that. The NASCARs generally will have something here on the rear end of the car. So what we need to do is this one's the hood here, so this is where your primary is going to go. The other one is this one right there. So what I do is I save everything to a folder. Now see, the default when you go into it is the car folder. What I do is I go there and I've got a pictures. I go down to iRacing, and then I've got a sponsors folder. Now in this case, the Velocity is the last one that I have. Yeah, you see it right there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to double click on that, and I'm going to take the Bitchin' Rides one. This is one of them that I've been using as a primary, generally on the sides of the cars for the entire series. Now, I like the transparent backgrounds. They don't leave shadowing or anything like that, and you'll discover that when I go to do the Unique Rides one. It is not a transparent, so you got to do a background sampling on it using the eyedropper tool. In this case, we don't have to worry about it. So you go up to Edit, go to Copy, close that one off because we won't use it anymore. Go to Edit, paste this new layer. Always do new layer. If you have one that has a background, you're going to go to Transparent Layer, and that'll put it in there. But you're going to have to worry about leftover pixels. So we're going to go to New Layer. And I'll zoom in a little bit so you can see there. Go up to your arrow key. This is your pick tool. This is what puts the box around each layer. Once it's done saving. Now, take and left click. You see where the arrows are right there in the middle of the thing? Left click and drag it down to where you want to go. And then go to the arrow, and then you can move it down to the perimeters of the box. Now in this case, I can stretch this logo longer than I actually need, and that's fine. As long as it fits in that box or generally close to it, you're good shape. Go to Edit, Copy, because you're copying the image that's selected on here. And then go to Edit Layer. Now, notice this is the same size as the one we just placed. What we have to do now is turn this so that it's facing the right direction. So I'm going to zoom in to show you. And then there's a little bar here. You see where the bar is? With that little end right there? If you see the little curve signs, you're on where you need to be. Then you rotate it and hold the mouse button down until you get the lines nice and even. I'm off just a little bit to this side and over here, so I'm going to drag it back to the perimeter. Now, we're going to go ahead and put something on our hood. This is a big area, and I can put just about anything I want on there. But generally with one this size, I've been using the Kindig-It logo from Bitchin' Rides. It's this one right here. I've got two of them, one smaller, one a little bit larger. The larger one, you want the logos as large as you possibly can because it's easier to scale them down than it is to make them larger, because when you make them larger, they have a tendency to pixelate too much. Copy it and then paste as a new layer. Now, the front of the car faces this way. So I want to take and turn it 90 degrees counterclockwise until the lines are straight. Drag it to the location and then size it down. Let's see, in this case it's a little bit larger than the square that you have available is a little bit larger. Now, what I do is sometimes I'll go and extend this a little bit longer. You notice how the hood you still have a little bit of room on the hood, so sometimes I'll go and take and extend it beyond the line to make it larger, but you don't want to go too far up this way. Then center it in your box. Alright. Now, we'll go ahead and do these boxes down here. I need to put a Velocity one on there because they're the primary sponsor. So I'll go over here to my Velocity ones. And this is the one I generally choose because it's got a little bit more color than this one. Select it. Edit. Copy. Close it out. Edit. Paste as a new layer. Now, if you notice, this one is a little bit smaller than that other box. I can take and extend it just a little bit. It's not going to pixelate too much. Take it on there and drag it down to where you need it. Alright, notice how much better it looks. Go up there, copy it because it'll retain that size, and then go to Edit Layer, and then paste it. Turn it so it's facing the right direction. Go 180 on it. Drag it up to your space where you want it. Now, we've only got 3 more locations we need to put. We've got one right here, right there, and right there. So what I need to do is I'm going to take the Barrett-Jackson. See, generally I'll go and use a graveyard. Actually, I use the graveyard cars on this one here because it's a black one. So we'll use that one there. You don't want to take and put black letters on a dark part of the car. Copy And saving again. Okay, close it out. Edit, paste as a new layer. Drag it over to where you want it. And turn it. Now this is going to be another one like the Bitch and Rides one. We're going to have to extend it. Now this one you want to maintain the lines because this area of the wing is very, very narrow. And drag it down. You see the graveyard cars on there. Now, this one here, we got these two there. Remember, we need to have this one facing toward us, and this one's going to be upside down. Let's see. Generally, I use the West Coast Customs one for this, for something along those lines. Edit. Copy. Notice the ones I'm using are all transparent backgrounds. Edit, paste this new layer. I'm going to zoom in a little bit because this one's a little bit of a tight area. Go over here. Line it up with your edges of your box. You don't have a whole lot of space there. You got just a little bit. And then drag it to the corner. I'll extend this one up a little bit. It doesn't matter all that much. It gives more visibility. Edit, copy because we want the same on this one right here. Edit, new layer. Flip it around. Make sure your lines are even. Then drag it to your box. Alright, now that's decal placement. One thing you need to do before you import it into Trading Paints is to turn off your sponsor placement locations. So you go back down to sponsor selections and click that I to turn them off. And notice they all the boxes disappear, but the logos are still there. You want to do the logos above the box. This way they're going to show when you do your placement. Some of the cars, like the NASCARs, it's a little bit easier to place. Other ones like the Delaras and the Williams and the Pro Mazda, they're narrower, so you don't have much room to place things. So you want to make sure you know where you're putting them. All right, I'm going to go ahead and pause this one here. We'll do another video as for your placement and how to get your take your pictures for your cars for Trading Paints like I do. Talk to you in a bit.